In the distant past of our planet, long before dinosaurs ever walked the Earth, the world looked very different from anything we know today. Imagine a vast prehistoric swamp. The air is warm and heavy. Giant ferns stretch toward the sky. Towering trees rise from dark waters, their reflections trembling in the mist. Sunlight struggles to break through thick clouds hanging low over the ancient forest. Then something moves. Above, a massive shadow glides silently across the sky, blocking the light for just a moment. Leaves below tremble as the wind shifts. The shadow is not a bird, because birds do not exist yet. It is not a bat, because bats are still millions of years away. It is an insect, a flying predator so large, so powerful, that it rules the skies of prehistoric Earth. This is the story of Meganeura, Monnyi. Now pause for a moment and imagine this question. If the dragonflies we see today were as large as eagles, how different would our world be? This is not science fiction. It is history. Meganeura Monnyi was one of the largest flying insects that ever lived. At first glance, it looks like a giant dragonfly, but that description is misleading. Meganeura was not a true dragonfly as we know them today. It belonged to an ancient group of insects known as Protodonta, an early lineage related to modern dragonflies but not identical to them. People often confuse Meganeura with modern dragonflies because of its long body, large eyes, and 2 pairs of extended wings. But biologically, Meganeura was something far more primitive, a creature shaped by an ancient atmosphere in a world that no longer exists. To understand Meganeura, we must travel back more than 300 million years, to a time known as the Carboniferous period, between approximately 305 and 299 million years ago. Earth was dominated by vast swamp forests. These forests covered much of the land and were filled with enormous plants. Trees with thick bark, giant horsetails, and massive ferns formed dense green canopies. The ground was wet, dark, and rich in organic matter. There were no dinosaurs, no birds, no flowering plants. Instead, amphibians ruled the land, crawling through mud and shallow water. Insects flourished in extraordinary forms, some growing far larger than anything we see today. The atmosphere itself was different. Oxygen levels were dramatically higher than in the modern world. While today, oxygen makes up about 21% of the air. During the Carboniferous period, it may have reached 35%. This single difference changed everything, Meganeura. Monnyi took full advantage of this oxygen-rich world. Its wingspan reached an astonishing 70 to 75 centimeters. That is nearly the width of a human torso. Its body stretched close to 40 centimeters in length. When compared to a modern dragonfly, the difference is shocking. A typical dragonfly today has a wingspan of only 7 to 10 centimeters compared to birds. Meganeura was similar in size to a hawk or small eagle. Compared to humans, its wings could stretch from shoulder to shoulder. To encounter such a creature in flight would be deeply unsettling. The buzzing of its wings would echo through the forest. Its shadow alone would trigger fear. 2 prehistoric animals? Meganeura was not just large, it was terrifying. So how was such a giant insect even possible? The answer lies in biology and the ancient atmosphere. Insects do not breathe like mammals or birds. They do not have lungs. Instead, they rely on a system of tubes called trachea. These tubes deliver oxygen directly from the air into their bodies. Oxygen enters through small openings along the insect's body and fuses through this network of tubes. This system works well for small creatures, but it has limits. As insects grow larger, oxygen has a harder time reaching deep tissues. In today's atmosphere, this limits how big insects can become. But during the Carboniferous period, the high oxygen concentration allowed oxygen to diffuse much more efficiently through insect bodies. This meant insects could grow larger without. Suffocating Meganeura evolved to exploit this advantage. Its massive wings were thin, but incredibly strong, supported by complex veins that provided both flexibility and stability. Its flight was not fast and agile like a modern dragonfly, but rather slow, powerful, and steady. It ruled the air. Its eyes were enormous, giving it exceptional vision. These compound eyes allowed Meganeura to detect movement across wide distances. Nothing escaped its gaze. From high above the swamp, it could spot prey with ease, and Meganeura was a hunter. It fed on other insects and small amphibians. Juvenile amphibians, crawling near the water's edge, were easy targets. Smaller insects flying below were intercepted in midair. Meganeura would soar high, scanning the landscape, then suddenly dive with deadly precision. There were no birds to challenge it, no bats to compete with it. In the skies of the Carboniferous world, Meganeura had no natural enemies. It was the apex predator of the insect world. Its presence shaped the ecosystem. By controlling populations of smaller insects, Meganeura played a crucial role in maintaining balance. Remove such a predator, and insect populations would explode, altering plant life and the entire food chain. Meganeura was not just a monster. It was an essential part of its world, but no reign lasts forever. As the Carboniferous period came to an end, the Earth began to change. Oxygen levels slowly declined. Climate patterns shifted. Swamp forests shrank and transformed. The planet cooled and dried in many regions. These changes were catastrophic for giant insects. As oxygen levels fell, the tracheal system of large insects became inefficient. Meganeura could no longer obtain enough oxygen to sustain its massive body. Its size, once its greatest advantage, became a fatal weakness. Gradually, giant insects disappeared. Meganeura Monnyi vanished from the fossil record. Its lineage ended. The skies fell silent. In the millions of years that followed, new creatures took its place. Reptiles evolved. Dinosaurs emerged. Birds eventually took to the air. Insects survived, but in smaller forms, constrained by the limits of the modern atmosphere today. When we see a dragonfly hovering over a pond, it is easy to dismiss it as harmless. But that small insect is a distant echo of a forgotten giant. Modern dragonflies are fast, agile, and beautiful. Meganeura was powerful, slow, and dominant. Humans today are safe because creatures like Meganeura can no longer exist in our atmosphere. But imagine if they could. Imagine a world where insects the size of birds fill the skies, where shadows pass overhead, not from clouds, but from wings, where the hum of insects carries weight and menace. Meganeura reminds us that Earth has not always been a gentle place. Its fossils teach scientists about the limits of life, about how deeply evolution is tied to the environment. They show us that size is not just a matter of genetics, but of air, climate, chemistry. Meganeura Monnyi is a witness to a lost world. A world where insects ruled the skies. A world shaped by oxygen and time, though it no longer exists. Its story remains etched in stone. And as we study its remains, we are reminded of a powerful truth. The Earth we know today is only one version of many that have existed before, and the past was far stranger, far more dangerous, and far more magnificent than we ever imagined.